Hey there guys, in today's video I'm going to explain to you step by step how to create, run and package a Flet application on IDX, which is an AI-assisted workspace recently launched by Google. Let's dive right into it. From your web browser, head over to idx.dev. Feel free to give the homepage a read, then click on Get Started. So IDX gets connected directly to your Google account. If you don't yet have a Google account, it's going to prompt you to sign up, and if you already have a Google account, log in. So this is your IDX dashboard. You have several templates over here. In today's video, we are going to be creating our project from a GitHub repository. For that, click on Import from a repo, and you will be prompted to provide a URL. So on my GitHub account, I created a new repository named Flet on Google IDX. It contains starter files which are going to help you to run a Flet application on the Google IDX platform. Feel free to specify this URL to my repository, but note that IDX is going to use the name of the repository as the name of the project on the platform. So in this case, if you specify this URL to my repository, the name of your project is going to be Flet on Google IDX. If you don't want this to happen, feel free to fork this repository, modify the name and provide the URL of your fork on IDX. If you already have an existing repo containing your Flet application files, then you simply need to have this .idx folder at the root of your repository. So create this .idx folder and this dev.nix file, copy the contents I have in here and paste them inside your dev.nix file. Once you have this, you simply have to use the URL to your repository inside this field. Click on This is a Flutter app, even though it is not a Flutter application. We are going to need Flutter when packaging. That's why we need to say over here, this is a Flutter application. Click on Import and IDX is going to do the whole job. And as you can see, these files are opening up automatically. So everything is defined in the dev.nix file, which I'm going to explain in a while. Flet is being installed automatically. The venv is created, and in a while you're going to see the web preview pop up over here. As you can see, all of this happens immediately after building the environment. So this next file contains our configuration. Here we define the packages we need to install, so Python 3 and JDK20. JDK20 is needed when packaging for APK, which we are going to see in a while. Here we define our environment variables. Here we have the virtual environment directory, which is this one over here. And the main file, in my case, it is main.py, which is the main entry point to this application. Here we have the IDX configuration. Here we define the extensions to be installed. So we have the Python extension. If you've worked on VS Code, you definitely know of this extension. You can also install extensions from here. So you can type in any extension over here and you can install it. As next, we have the workspace configuration. Inside the workspace, we have two events. We have the onCreate event and the onStart event. Inside the onCreate, we define a task, which is create venv. So it simply creates a Python virtual environment. And by the way, this onCreate runs when a workspace is first created with this dev.nix file, while this onStart runs each time you build or rebuild your environment. So over here, we are creating a new Python environment. We are checking if the requirements file exists. So you have this requirements file. If it doesn't exist, then we are going to create one with Flet inside it. And here we activate the virtual environment and install the Python requirements. Here we have the files open by default. So you saw that at the beginning, readme.md got open, requirements.txt got open, main.py got open. This is simply because we've defined them here. So we are telling IDX to open this file directly if they exist. So here we have the onStart event. So as I said, it runs each time you rebuild your environment. So if you make a change inside this dev.nix, let's say you add a space over here, you can see IDX suggests you to rebuild the environment. If you rebuild the environment right now, all the tasks you define inside this event are going to run. Inside this event, we are checking the existence of the virtual environment. If the virtual environment doesn't exist, so if this venv is not present, we are creating a new Python virtual environment with the name venvd, so what has been defined over here. And as next, we are checking if the requirements file exists. If the requirements file doesn't exist, we are creating a new requirements file with Flet inside it. Here we are activating the virtual environment and installing the Python requirements. Here we equally have the default open files, so readme requirements and the main.py file. Here we are defining the preview, so the web preview, which is this one over here. And here we have the command, which simply represents what IDX is supposed to run in order to have the web preview rendered. The first thing is to activate the Python virtual environment, and the second thing is to run the Flet application in hot reload mode. So we are using Flet run, which If you're familiar with Flet, you definitely know that this is to run an application in not reload mode. Here we have the main file, so in our case it's going to be replaced by main.py, which is the main entry point of our application. With this web flag, we are forcing web mode, and with this port, we are defining the port on which the application should run. This port is being set by IDX automatically through an environment variable over here. So that's quite it. If you want to open your application in a new tab, simply click on this button over here, click on open. And if you want to share the application, simply click on this button, manage access, copy preview URL, or you can scan this code. So as I said before, this application is running in hot reload mode, which simply means if you make any modification to this code, it's going to be directly applied or directly reflected in this web preview. So if I modify the size of this text, for instance, to be 23, you can see the web application directly reloads and the text is made bigger. Now let's look at how to package a Flet application on this IDX platform. Move over here to the terminal and then create a new terminal session. From here we are going to type in Flet, and it says Flet command not found. It is simply because we have not activated the virtual environment. So we are going to activate the virtual environment by saying source.venv/bin/activate, and you can see the virtual environment has been activated successfully. From here, if you type in Flet, you can see Flet works as expected. You can make use of all these commands. So Flet create to create a new Flet application from a template, Flet run to run an application in hot reload mode. So just to try, you can type in over here Flet run main.py, so our main application, and you can see the application runs in a new tab. What we are going to be using today is the Flet build command. When using Flet build, you need to specify the target platform. So are you trying to build for macOS, Linux, Windows, Web, APK, AAB, or IPA? And just so you know, this IDX platform is running inside a Linux virtual environment. Let's move to the Flet documentation to see what it says about Linux. Under publishing a Flet application, you can see this platform metrics. We have Linux over here, and when you're on Linux, you can build for APK and AAB. You can build for Linux itself, and you can build for web. So back to IDX, it means we can type in here Flet build APK, and the APK is going to get built. As you can see from here, the Flet build APK failed, and this is simply because the flutter version we are using is not the right one. You can see from here that we are using flutter 3.22.2, and at the time I'm recording this video, Flet needs a minimum of 3.24.0, so we need to upgrade our flutter version. So the flutter upgrade is complete. Flutter version once more. You can see that we have upgraded to flutter 3.24.2. Flet build APK once more. I'm going to open a new terminal session, activate it, and from here I'm going to start the AAB build. I'll open another terminal session, activate it, and start the web build, and a last terminal session in which we are going to have the Linux build. So after a while, you can see that the APK build was successful, the AAB build was successful, the web build was successful, but the Linux build wasn't successful. Flutter Doctor is reporting several issues concerned with Linux, which is the reason why the build failed. Before making this video, I tried to install all of these guys, but it did not work. So please, if you give them a try and it works, let me know how you did that so that I can share with the community. If you check this build directory created over here, you can find the AAB files, the APK files, and the web files. IDX is a Google IDE, and because of this, the Google team integrated Gemini, previously known as BAT, into it. So you can click on this button to start chatting with Gemini, or you can click on this button over here and you can see explain selected code, add comments for selected code, do anything with selected code, chat with Gemini, start inline chat, etc. Or you can press Command Shift P, type in Gemini from here, and you can see the exact same commands. So if you want to chat with Gemini, you simply press on Chat with Gemini and you press on Continue, and you can start chatting with Gemini. Alright, seems like it knows a little about Flet. Now let's ask it to build a simple Hello World application. This is correct, so define main and then page.add text hello world and then launch the application, and it explains it step by step. So that's it for today's video, guys. I really hope you understood how to set up an IDX environment on which you can run and package your Flet applications. Make sure you like and subscribe for more exciting Flet content. If you faced any issues, please drop them in the comments and I'm going to respond to you as soon as possible. This was the Ethical Boy. Thanks for watching.